Only a few hundred people have ever left the Earth, and when they come back, a strange number of them say the same thing. Not that space was cold, or that the launch was violent. Something quieter. That the moment they looked back at the planet, something in them rearranged and never went back. They have a name for it now. The overview effect. It isn't a fact they learned. It's a thing they saw. And it might be one of the most important things anyone has ever seen, because it shows you a truth the rest of us spend our whole lives too close to notice. Here's what they describe. You go up. The sky, which from the ground looks like an endless blue ceiling, thins out in seconds. And you realize it was never a ceiling at all. It's a fragile skin, a few miles thick, the only thing between everything alive and the vacuum. From up there, it looks impossibly thin, like a coat of paint on a ball, and then there's the ball itself. Blue, white, turning slowly, hanging in a black that has no bottom, nothing holding it up, no edge, just there, alone, carrying everyone who has ever lived. The astronaut Edgar Mitchell, returning from the moon, said he was overcome by a sudden sense that everything is connected, that the separateness we feel is a kind of illusion. Another, Rusty Schweickart, described looking down and realizing he couldn't find a single line. Because from space, you cannot see a single border, not one. The lines that armies die for, that split families, that decide which side of a river you're allowed to stand on, none of them are there. They were never on the planet. They were only ever in our heads. That's the part that undoes people, not the beauty. The realization that so much of what we treat as solid and real, the borders, the divisions, the things where certain matter, turns out to be a story we agreed to, invisible, the moment you get far enough away. In 1990, as the spacecraft Voyager was leaving the solar system, the astronomer Carl Sagan asked the team to turn its camera around and take one last photo of Earth. From 4 billion miles away, the planet wasn't a blue marble anymore. It was a single dot, less than a pixel, a pale blue speck suspended in a beam of sunlight. Sagan looked at that dot and reflected on what it held. Every person who has ever lived, every ruler and every war, every triumph and every cruelty in all of human history, all of it, on a speck too small to even make out. He noted how much blood had been spilled by people trying to become, briefly, the master of a fraction of a dot. You feel small hearing it, but it isn't really about being small, it's about scale, about zoom. Because here's the quiet thing underneath all of it. The astronauts didn't fly to a different planet. They saw the exact same one you're standing on right now. The only thing that changed was the distance. They got far enough away to see the whole thing at once. And at that distance, the problems that fill a human life shrink to their actual size. And most of our suffering, if you look at it honestly, is a failure of zoom. We get stuck at maximum magnification. Nose pressed against one worry, one insult, one bad day, one border, so close that it fills the entire frame and becomes the whole world. You don't need a rocket to fix that. The overview effect is just what happens when you pull back far enough that the thing you were sure was enormous returns to its real proportions. 100 years from now, instead of tonight. The whole city, not just your street. The pale blue dot, not just the argument. The people who have literally seen the whole planet all came home saying versions of the same sentence. It's one place. It's fragile. And almost nothing we fight about is visible from far enough away. They didn't see a new world. They just saw this one, from far enough back to finally see it whole. That's the whole trick. Not to look at something new, to look at the same thing from further away.